the experimentations that Michelangelo has constantly been doing at the core of the artistic practice, starting from the mirror paintings, but even going through the arte povera until the theater performances, they have always were willing to be reflections on the human condition, on the condition of human being in the contemporary society and in the contemporary world. Starting from himself, from the idea, and maybe even an obsession of self-portrait, he started his research, and a sort of epiphany, because he spoke with us about that today, happened one day in 1961. But now, to start our talk, I would like to ask you to explain how the researcher, why you were so obsessed by doing self-portrait, and how it came out, the idea of the mirror.
Because we don't have this, I had a record, but was broken on the way, so now I have to go back to my initial traditional way to work and making drawings. I will make some drawings and we talk making drawings. It is true that my work started making self-portrait. But the self-portrait was also related with the idea of a research that came from the necessity for me to identify myself, but the problem of identification. But working with my father, that was a restorer, a painter and restorer of antiques, I was every day working with icons, Byzantine icons and all these religious representations. And I had this feeling that the history of the art, it was very, very related, especially in Italy, with the representation, the iconic representation. And in my mind, I had the feeling that the religions that were the core of the concept of the representation through the icon didn't give me the answer that I was expecting for my thought and for my life. And I thought that through art I would find the way to find answers. And I started from the idea of the icon. And the icon is made with two elements. One is the figure, the human figure, and the other element is the background that is almost always in gold. The first, the beginning, my self-portrait was done on large surface of gold and other metals, other powder metals, like silver and so on. And I was always painting my figure, my image, standing without any expression, but as a human representation of a human being. I didn't want to be expressive. I want just to have my image and the background as two elements. So if this is the floor, the painting was like this. That was the painting, and I painted my image like having the feet on the floor, and the figure was at my dimension. I was like here it was myself, that was myself, and here there was the figure of my size, standing, the feet on the floor. That was a self-portrait. And the background, it was uniform, gray. So. Of course, in order to see myself and producing my self-portrait, I needed a mirror beside. Normally, the artist has a mirror that's standing beside, that he can look into the mirror and to transfer the figure from the mirror into the painting. But one day in '61, I made a black surface painted in black and with a lot of varnish, and it started to be reflective, started to become like a mirroring element. And I started to see me standing here in front of the mirror, I started to see myself inside of the mirror. And I painted for the first time my image, looking myself directly into the painting and not anymore into the glass beside. You can see here the glass beside. So, for the first time I have seen this image coming out from the background, and in the background I have seen myself moving away. Somebody was coming inside, and I have seen people coming inside, and the space of the room was inside. Everything was started to be in movement inside of the painting, and I realized that was happening something very, very strange. That the self-portrait that normally in the tradition represent the artist alone on the canvas, for the first time was not alone anymore. The artist was not alone anymore. Everybody else came inside of the mirror painting, and in the mirror painting, the people coming inside made the painting. I can say I think it was the first time that the artist was not alone in the self-portrait. The self-portrait of the artist became the self-portrait of the world, and in that case, the rapport of the dynamic it started to exist in the sense of thinking of a democratic self-portrait, democratic painting, where there was not the isolation of the artist, the autonomous, independent position of the artist, but the dependency of the artist to everything else that surround him. So that it was immediately after that I used, instead of the painting, I used metal, very, very finely polished metal, stainless steel, polished stainless steel, and the stainless steel became very, very mirroring, much more than the pigment, the black pigment. But at that point, I couldn't paint anymore the figure in front, as I did before, because it was so objective. The vision of the space and the place and the people inside of the mirror was so objective, was so real, that I couldn't paint my way of representing a figure, because if the figure was perfectly made, realistic, very realistic painting would have been always individualistically made. Always individualistic. That means the subjectivity would have always been there, because I would never reach the automatic objectivity of the reflection. I had to find the relation between my figure and the figure of the mirrors perfect, objective, automatic, and I didn't have other possibility than using the photography, because the photography, it works. It takes the present, it fixes the present as it is. So I had the possibility to have a perfect connection between the fixed image and the mirroring image, the mirrored image. And in that, but immediately I understood that the fixed image took the meaning of the memory. Because when you make a photography, you immediately have the memory, you have the past. It is a present that is not present anymore. And it is already fixed as a memory. So fixing the memory on the mirror, I had the relation between the memory of a present and the real present that was reflected into the mirror. The mirror, you have the real present, and you have at the same time the past present. So these two elements, the past, that means the memory, the past, and the present, together, they created a combination of time. So the painting, the mirror painting became totally activated in a phenomenological way, and not in the expression of myself. It was the phenomenological activity of the painting that was giving me information, and not anymore myself giving information to the painting. So the self become us, and at the same time, the self is not anymore the act of expression, but it is the painting itself in its own technical dynamic that was giving me the information. And the information started to be more and more numerous. And it's a pity we don't have the images, but can you imagine the fact that, I think it's better if you that this is a mirror. This is a mirror. All what's happening here in the mirror, it's universal. It's here and everywhere at the same time. The mirror it can be here, it can be on the moon, it can be in America, it can be everywhere. And the present, the present it's happening everywhere at the same time. There is no distance between the present of here, this place, and the present in the last star. The present is everywhere. We have the idea of the present that is displaced because we have the concept of space. The time to go from here with the mirror to bring the mirror in another place, of course the time will be past. But we will go in another moment. But the present is everywhere at the same time. The figure that is here, the figure that is here, and the other images inside, they are related, waiting for the future. Past, present, but universal present. This is a local memory.